Hey guys, this is Captain True reporting for duty, and this episode is going to be for May 18th of 2022, the top 3 and bottom 3 comic books of the week. So sit back and enjoy the show. Alright guys, thanks for joining me again for another top 3 and bottom 3 comics of the week. And this one is for, once again, May 18th, 2022. And I like to always make it a point as this is my top 3 and bottom 3. Yours may be different, and that's okay. Matter of fact, you might have even read books that I didn't read, because let's be honest, I can't read everything in 1 week and get this done in time. I didn't even count how many I read, so let me count there. You're going to hear my papers rattle. That's my notes. Yeah, I actually take notes. Let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I read 10 books this week, so 10 books. Yeah, to read more, I'd probably go bankrupt because these get pretty darn expensive. So anyway, these are my top 3 and bottom 3. As I said, yours might be different, so by all means, share. If you think I missed a really good book, by all means, please share it with me. Or if I missed one that was so bad it's good, maybe you should share that with me as well. But before I get into it, I just want to mention there are some ways to help this channel. One of the best ways you could do is share. Yeah, as I was just saying, share. Nice little segue game there, right? If you don't mind, share this video. It's one of the ways, the new ways to help in analytics. Evidently, that's a big deal. Also, you can hit like if you want and leave a comment. I really love to hear your thoughts on that. So here we go. We're going to start first with the top 3. And my number 3 is Secret Avengers number 1. I gave it a 7.9 out of 10. Once again, that's Secret Avengers number 1. Let me tell you a little bit of why. I think the art was okay. It wasn't anything spectacular to me. I'm not a big fan of that art style, but it was okay. But the thing is, it has an interesting story. I'm finding it interesting where it's going, and I want to see more. I noticed that Marvel's starting to use the Deathlock characters again, not just as a single Deathlock, of course, but a multiple. And so we have the Time Police here. So it's sort of interesting to see. It's almost, I don't know if you've noticed this, but it seems like that Marvel's starting to bring back the 90s characters and use those more. You notice that we're starting to see, and in early 2000s as well, we're starting to see more use of Deathlock. We're starting to see more uses of Venom, but an older take on Venom. We're seeing Ben Reilly. I don't know what it is. I think Marvel's realizing that right now what they're doing, it hasn't been working really well in sales, and they're trying to see if going back to that time period will work. I don't know. I'm just speculating there. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. But anyway, Secret Avengers number 1. This may be Marvel's last story with Conan as well. There is word out there that they may have lost the rights to use Conan, so this may be it for Conan in the Marvel Universe. So if you want some Marvel fix of Conan, this was your time to try it. Once again, I give this issue a 7.9 out of 10. Yeah, this has been this is a different week. Lately, last few have been about more middle down the road. This week, we have more high highs and low lows, so this should be interesting. The next one is number 2, and number 2 I gave to Batman and Superman, World's Finest number 3. This one's been a good, strong title. Not a fan of the writer in any way whatsoever, but he's writing a strong title here, and I believe in being fair. And I gave this book, you ready for this? An 8 out of 10. Yeah, I usually don't get much past the 7s the last few weeks, but an 8 out of 10. The art was good in this issue, strong. I've been enjoying that. The story seems to have a very good pace. It's not too fast, not too slow. It just keeps you interested and keep making you want to read more, which is a good thing, and it's a fun story. These are all things that make a good comic book. Pacing is absolutely essential, and padding for the trade sometimes can cause problems with that, and I haven't really seen that here. It's just a good, fun story. Once again, an 8 out of 10. Yeah, here's my papers rattling with my notes. And the number 1, are you ready for this one? This one really surprised me, because my number 1 is a title I have not been reading. I stopped reading this character's title a little while ago, and so, but I picked it up because of what the special situation is, and that's the issue of Thor number 25. There's a little mini-series sort of going in and out of multiple series between him and Hulk, and number 25 is one of those issues. So he's having this fight, and I'm a sucker for Thor versus Hulk stories, and the first one was okay, but this one was a little different. The main story was really great fun, in my opinion. I'm going to give you my score. Well, yeah, let me give you my score first, and I'll explain why. I gave this, you ready for this one? A 9 out of 10. That's the first 9 I've given in weeks, so it's actually since I've started this series. 9 out of 10. The main story was great fun. The art is solid in the book too. I enjoy that. The story is brutal. It continues the brutal fighting. It just screams that brutality of Hulk and Thor and how they're warriors. I really like that. And so the main story was very good. Now here's the next thing though. It has 2 side stories. And the first side story was written by Tom DeFalco and the artwork was by Ron Frenz. And I'm going to say it right off the bat. I am a sucker for those 2 working together. I love that team. They never seem to disappoint me. And this story had great art as always that you can always expect from from Ron Frenz. I'm sorry. I love Ron Frenz art. He's one of my favorite artists and he never seems to disappoint. I wish we'd get more. I know he's semi-retired, I believe is what it is. I would love to see Ron Frenz do more Thor. I'd love to see this classic team do more Thor, or heck, anything, because they're great. Give him a crack at Cap. Why not, right? So anyway, great art in this story. And the story was deep, too, about the Enchantress. It really was a deep story with her and Odin. I think this is the deepest I've ever can perceive, thinking about reading about it, Enchantress. I could be wrong, but it was just really, really well done. And then the third story, Thor's Wedding, was the art was definitely a step down, and the story was okay at best. It was just sort of a throwaway story. That one wasn't anything major. If that was hitting it out of the park, this could have been higher than a 9, okay? But the Ron Frenz, Tom DeFalco story really bumped it up. The main story was good, so 9 out of 10. This is one I think you should definitely get. Now, granted, if you haven't been reading that, you want to go read the previous month's issue, or previous couple weeks ago issue of Hulk first. That way you get the storyline, but it's definitely, I'm enjoying where it's going. And then the next issue, Iron Man's getting into it too, and it's going to be massive. Alright, so the next one is the bottom 3. The ones that usually I would say lately has been still okay, but this bottom 3 is not that good. These are ones you could probably skip. They deserve the title of bottom 3. But before I get into the bottom 3, I want to take a moment to say thank these people right here. Without them, their Patreon subscribe star support, this would not be possible. They have been completely, absolutely essential. This series would not be possible without them. They continue to give and support to this channel, which allows me to do this. And really, without them, they're the producers of this show. They deserve to be thanked. So thank you so much. And if you want to be part of that too and help out, once again, we have a Patreon subscribe star, or even if you want a one-time help thing, you want to buy yourself a shirt or a mug or whatever, or a friend, we do have, and I don't advertise this often, we have a Redbubble account that has some Captain Frugal merch. And if people want more of that, I'm thinking about adding some different type of merch, some audio kind of stuff side of it too, and just update it a little bit. I might be doing that as well. So that's another option, or even just a one-time donation. There is one of those options with a link down below as well. All right, shilling enough. Let's go to the bottom 3. The number 3. This one is the one that, okay, you can maybe read if you're really interested in it, but it doesn't get my seal of approval, and I don't even like the name. Shadow War Zone number 1. It just doesn't. Shadow War Zone. It sounds like, I don't know. It doesn't read right. Well, anyway, now this one, it has Black Canary section, and I thought that section was interesting. I like the Black Canary character, so that was the highlight of the book to me, was the Black Canary section there. But the thing is otherwise the story really is a mixed bag. It just, that didn't really hold my attention too well, and the art was just okay at best. So this one, ready? 6.9, so still not terrible. 6.9 out of 10. Now we're getting into the ones I would say definitely skip, don't waste your money on. And so the number 2 of the pile of poo, I like that, is Spider-Punk number 2. Yeah, I gave Spider-Punk number 2 fits the name. It is a number 2. I gave that book a 6 out of 10, and let me tell you why. Once again, I didn't like Spider-Punk number 1 either, if you recall. So if you watched that one, you knew that was not a fan. But the art is not great. I know some people like that art style. It's not for me. I don't care for that art style. And on top of that, the lettering. I don't even like the lettering style. It made it hard to read. Yeah. How bad is it to mess up the lettering? Which, don't get me wrong, lettering is an art in itself, and it was definitely, in my opinion, a failure here. The book is, the biggest, I think, issue I have with this is the book is trying too hard to be cool. They're trying to be so cool and hip and awesome that they miss it on all marks. It comes out as cheesy and forced and just not interesting in any way whatsoever. Now the next one, the number one of the burner barrel, the one that should be going down, the one that I would strap down to a post and shoot with my shotgun. This one was crap, and I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. Once again, this is not because of homophobia or anything, or hating minorities or whatever it is. It's purely based on the story, so please bear with me. And that's Voices Identity number one. I gave it a 5.5 out of 10. Voices Identity number one. So let's start. I thought the art was okay, at best. So it was passable. But why can't we have stories with characters that are minorities that focus on other factors than them being minorities? And that's probably my biggest complaint there. It seems like every time Marvel wants to, hey, we're going to put these minority characters up in front and put a special spotlight on them, and that's okay in a way. I wish they would just do it by naturally rather than treating them like tokens and give them a book once in a while and shove that in your face. Why don't you actually give them character development and give them their own title? That would have true balls. But see, they don't really do that. It's because that's what they don't really care about. They act like they care about those things, but in all honesty, they don't. They do these one-shot things and these miniseries with minority characters because they know it gets attention. They'll get media attention extra that they couldn't get before, and it gets them short-term sales. Instead of actually taking the time and taking a true risk and developing and putting time into these characters, because there are some really great potential characters, but they only use them as tokens, and it's really quite sad. And so this, once again, it focuses on them being minorities. It's lazy writing. Instead, really use these characters in a better way. Kamala is probably, in one section of the Kamala story, she's held by Shang-Chi and Shang-Chi's like, she's the strongest person. What? Okay, think about what Shang-Chi has overcome. How is what Kamala's done measure up to Shang-Chi? I don't get it. I really don't. It doesn't make any sense. Come on, man. And then here's another one too. The story with Wong. I like Wong, he's a great character. I think it was mainly done pretty well. But the thing was wrong about it is how they treated Doctor Strange. How they treated Doctor Strange was darn right insulting to the character of Doctor Strange. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but the evolution of Doctor Strange, and they made it backpedal here. He evolved past the I need all the accolades, I need all the attention. He's been past that. He's moved beyond that. He's done so much stuff that people don't even know about. But this issue focused on like he was Doctor Strange as an attention whore, and that's okay. Wong will just go under the radar and not be noticed. And once again, nothing against Wong there. Actually, his part was really cool. It was sort of a slap in the face to Doctor Strange, and that's one of the issues with Marvel writers right now. They cannot elevate a character without smacking a well-established character down, and writing them poorly, I might add. And they wrote this very poorly in that regard. Once again, build characters without having to break other ones down. But it seems like this is a common trend for Marvel as well as DC. We have to bring out these new characters, especially if they're a minority of some sort, and to do that and make them look good, we have to take the legacy characters down a peg. Why do we have to do that? Why can't they work together and be great? Think about this. Captain America and the Falcon. How many great Captain America and Falcon stories have we had together where we didn't have to break down Captain America to elevate the Falcon? They are great partners. Not a sidekick and hero, partners. Good writing matters, and this book failed in it in its entirety. I would skip this series. I'm not a fan. It just, while you were out, I didn't do anything. It's just, terrible. All right, so just so you know the other books that I've read, and I'm going to give you quick scores and breakdowns for those too, because that way you can let me know if I missed anything that you think I should be reading. Yes, this is my paper notes. All right, I also read Earth Prime Stargirl, issue 4 of 6 of this Earth Prime series. I thought it was better than the previous issues of the series, and I really liked the Stargirl continuation from the TV show here. I'm looking forward to Stargirl coming back. I really like that. I gave it a 7.6 out of 10. This is, in my opinion, 4 out of 6 is the best issue so far they've released in this miniseries. The next one was Nightwing number 92, which also got a strong showing of a 7.5. The art was okay, the story was pretty good, and I really like the respect that they showed to Alfred here. Alfred's a great character. I wonder how we're going to get him back, if we're ever going to get him back. Almost as much as I want Alfred back, it might be time to let Alfred stay gone. Because maybe, just maybe, that'll give us more deep impact of that character. I'm not a big fan of killing characters, but when you do it, you got to do it right. And this may be the best, but they're really showing this character a lot of respect. So Nightwing number 92 with a 7.5. I read The Flash, 782. And I gave it a 7.1. The art was decent and the story was okay at best. Not the Flash's strongest showing. Iron Fist number 3. If you've been watching this series, I've enjoyed this Iron Fist, even though I'm a big Danny Rand fan and I want my Danny back as Iron Fist. I give this story a 7 out of 10. The art is good, the story is okay, but it did not have Danny Rand in this issue. I really want to see that. Here's what I'd like. I think I'd like to see this character evolve and get his sword reconstructed and back and be his own character. And I want Danny back as Iron Fist. But that's me. I like Danny, and maybe we'll get that now with DC getting the, doing the TV shows. Maybe they'll have Danny Rand back in the shows and want him back in here. I don't know. I don't have any hatred towards this character. I'm just a big Danny Rand fan. This is an interesting character too. I'd like to see his character evolve and go forward. All right, another one I had was, let's see here. Oh, Venom, Lethal Protector number 2. The art was solid. It's a fun story, yeah. And it's a good use of D-list characters in this book. Venom fights some D-list characters, and it just works. It was done well, and I gave it a 7.8 out of 10. So there we go. Those are the issues I read. Did I miss anything that you think I should read? Is there anything that was so bad that it's good I should read it as well? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you disagree with me, you can below. Just remember, when you disagree, the first thing out of your typing out of your fingers shouldn't be how I'm a phobe or an ist or whatever hatred that you have. There was no hatred in this. This was based on story. Hopefully you understand my criticisms. And if you disagree with them, you can share how you disagree with those criticisms. And that's okay, because that's what we are. We are a community here, and that's what I like to build. Well, thank you for your time. Until next time, keep it frugal.